Welcome back to Moving to Hampton Roads. Today we're going to talk about a beautiful neighborhood in Hampton called Elizabeth Lake Estates. This is an absolute must-know if you're PCSing the Langley Air Force Base or you're just moving to the area and want a great neighborhood to call home. My name is David Tortellini. I'm with eXp Realty. Stick around and we'll get right to it. Alrighty, well we're going to start right up at the top of the neighborhood, and Elizabeth Lake Estates is right off of Fox Hill Road, which you can see right now. It's a Friday afternoon. It is a busy, trafficy road. So this is the kind of the main drag through what most of us consider the Fox Hill area, which is kind of a peninsula in the southeastern corner of Hampton. And while this is a busy street, the neighborhood itself is actually really quiet because as soon as you get in there, all the traffic really dies down. But it's nice. Like, this is a Rite Aide that was built just a couple of years ago. If we spin this way, there's a plaza over here with a Harris Teeter in it, a Burger King, a Bank of America. We'll make sure that while I said that, there's good photos of it for you. And then kind of right also here, right behind me, this is Gloria Dei, and this is a daycare and private school that I think goes through middle school. So I think you can go there as a private school up through 8th grade. So there's a lot going on in this area, and Elizabeth Lake Estates is kind of one of the premier neighborhoods that's really right off of Fox Hill Road, and anybody who's lived in Hampton for a while knows this neighborhood. So really cool, and we're just going to kind of walk into the neighborhood and start talking about it. And I don't know if you can see, this is a cool curved brick wall here. The curved brick wall is really neat. It actually uses less bricks than a straight wall traditionally built, but is more structurally sound. It's a pretty neat concept. But this is a neighborhood made up of about 300 homes, and they're going to range in size anywhere from about like a little under 1,500 square feet to about 3,000. There are about 10 houses in the neighborhood that are larger than that. I think maybe 4,500 is the biggest in the neighborhood. But and you'll have to excuse my voice in this video. I'm just getting over a cold. This is not my normal voice. So we're getting on in, and then so this is actually a property right here, this first one in the neighborhood, that I have a buyer under contract on right now. This is 327 Berg Westra, listed for $300,000. We're supposed to close here pretty soon. So once we're closed, you can click on the link in the description and see the property, and you'll be able to see this closed sale price then. But along with the other properties we look at today, we're gonna try and get by 4 or 5 today. But really structurally beautiful home, has a ton of wallpaper in it that has got to go, but other than that, it's really cool. It's kind of got a Dutch colonial with a farmhouse kind of feel to it. And I don't know if you noticed, but we walked past, the driveway was gated, and I don't know if I've ever sold a house with a gated driveway, so I thought that was pretty cool. So really great neighborhood. Has sidewalks, which if you've watched some of these videos, you see a lot of neighborhoods we go into don't have sidewalks, especially for this year build. So this, again, like much of the area, a 60s and 70s build. So majority construction in the 60s, some in the 70s. There are a few builds in here that are newer than that, but not a ton, And it's also really interesting because this neighborhood is not in an HOA, but it still has some like guidelines and covenants that you have to follow. So it's a little interesting. I also don't know if I've ever sold in a neighborhood other than this that's like that. So, and then there's also an interesting thing. So it's paid into your taxes. So it has like a little special tax assessment on it. Very kind of quirky, not a common thing around here. So, when you're looking at other properties that are in the area, you can easily see properties that are moving at a pretty good click. So, for example, the house that we're walking past right now, this recently sold for $391. It's a 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,900 square foot home. So you can see you can get a little bit more size there. And but that's going to be kind of at the higher price range for this neighborhood. So, we're seeing some homes sell in the kind of like high 2s, and then they are going up into the like low to mid 4s. So I think like 430 is the highest sale price we've had recently. Now there are a lot of waterfront properties in this neighborhood, so I don't think we've seen any of the big waterfront move. So I'm not for any of the bigger waterfront. I don't know if we'd quite stay in the low 4s, but you know, the vast majority are not waterfront, and they're not huge. So you're going to get good opportunities to buy in, you know, in that between 300 and 400 is probably going to be really typical for this neighborhood right now. So we're kind of walking through the kind of first phase of the neighborhood. What I want to do is get up and show you like some of the water that this neighborhood has, because a lot of these interior homes that we're walking up to are actually on the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. We're going to jump straight over to the canal so you can see down the canal, and then we'll probably take a ride around the first part of the neighborhood so you can check it out. All right, how cool is this? So this is a canal that is kind of coming in off of the end of the Hampton River. And so this first street that we were kind of on, really this was right across the street from that first house I showed you and the house at 404 Midlothian. Really, these are the houses that were across the street from those. And you can see, you know, here the depth is not super deep in the canal, so you're not going to get a huge boat in here, but you are going to have an opportunity to get a boat in here that'll take you out into the Hampton River. So pretty cool opportunity to be right here. And then what I want to do is get in the car and show you around the first section in this neighborhood. And really what's really neat, and I'll pull up a map right now so you can see here, it's kind of a loop around one of the offshoots of the Hampton River that we call Elizabeth Lake, even though I don't really think it is actually Elizabeth Lake. I think we just call it that. But it's really just a part of the Hampton River, and this is kind of where the river comes to an end in the town. So all right, let's hop in the car and look around. Alrighty, well now we're kind of more on the back half of the neighborhood. And you know, just one of the things I want to point out that I love about how they designed Elizabeth Lake Estates is that it's just filled with cul-de-sacs. So there are just, you know, when you look on that map, you can see that since it's kind of a loop around the around the water, that then they just put all these little cul-de-sacs in, so of, you know, anywhere from 3 to maybe 6 or 7 houses. So you have all this opportunity beyond kind of your own little private you know, your own little private cul-de-sac. And I happen to live on a cul-de-sac with 5 houses, and it's great. The only people who come in our cul-de-sac are the people who live on our street, and I love it. And so if that's something you're looking for, this is a cool neighborhood to get a house like that. Of course, there are plenty that are kind of face the main roads through the neighborhood, but you are really looking at more of an opportunity to get to properties that are kind of have their own little privacy, and it's really neat. I love that that's how they designed it, and it also gave them an opportunity to kind of work with the water to make sure that they could get a lot of waterfront properties, as many as possible. And you know, the unfortunate thing, there aren't too many opportunities to really see the water extremely well from the street. That's one thing that I know we're not going to get great of in this video, but you know, I do think that we'll get we'll get plenty of opportunity there. So then this is behind me is 355 Marlfield. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot house that recently closed for $330,000. So super cute. I love it, and it's on its own little cul-de-sac here. So there's, what are there, 5-6 houses here? So that's really nice. You got a nice little spot here. And I also love that they have these little traffic circles in the neighborhood. It helps kind of keep the traffic a little slower because there are a lot of kids and stuff here, without it kind of going out of control with too many stop signs. It does kind of keep things a little bit under control. But this is a pretty busy street that I'm on right now. So I am walking around also trying to deal with the traffic that's coming through, not get run over while I show you around this neighborhood. And there have been some people living here for a long time. So you do always have to watch out for the kind of the older folk. But all right, and then of course we have over here, we have 354 Eltham. Now this home recently sold for it's pending right now at $300,000. So we've got Eltham pending at $300,000, 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,100 square feet. We'll see what that comes in at for a final sales price. So check those links below. If you're watching this, after October 15th, 2022, you should be able to see what the final sales price is on that. So, really cool. Just love all like the little side streets, little cul-de-sacs. And then, the other thing that we haven't mentioned yet is just, this general Fox Hill area. This is cool because if you want to be near the beach, there are 2 beaches, Buckrow Beach and Grandview Beach, that are nearby. So Buckrow is kind of like the larger, more public beach. So you're going to find that has like the big pavilion, and that's where more people go to lay out kind of beach. And then Grandview, you just head down Fox Hill Road, take a left on Beach Road, and just keep driving to the end, and you get to Grandview Nature Preserve Beach. I actually proposed to my wife out on that beach. It's beautiful. And but that's more of like a beach people go to kind of hike. Not a lot of people just go there to sunbathe. If you go there, you'll see why. It's not really conducive for just kind of laying out, but and you'll find people that run their dog there in the off season and during the on season when they're not supposed to be, because no one really cares there. So, but it's a really good location if you want to be near the beaches. And then of course, being down the street from Mercury, that gets you over to all the shopping and restaurants, and pretty much most of the commerce that happens in Hampton happens on Mercury. So you're really only about 5 minutes away from all that too. This neighborhood does have a community area and a pool, and I do want to kind of get you over there to take a look at that. So why don't we jump over there, and we'll go check that out, and then right after that we'll take a nice drive around so you can get a feel for more of this big, beautiful neighborhood. Okay, so now this is the HOA space, and it's really neat. This is a big parking lot that they also use as, like a basketball court. And then, of course, it comes right over to the lake over here where there's an oyster sanctuary. Just a really beautiful spot and nice big field for all sorts of activities and socials that they do here. And, if you need a place to come and have a picnic, this is the spot. So it is only, accessible to the people who live in the neighborhood, but pretty gorgeous right here. Yeah. And it is, it's October when I'm shooting this, so pretty much everything's closed up, but we can head on over and you can see kind of the pool and everything they've got going on in there. I can't actually get through the gate, but you can see they've got a nice big community pool here and a lot of fun, really busy during the summertime when all the kids are out of school and mom and dad need to give them something to do. So really cool, beautiful, fun space to be in. And yeah, pretty neat. And then, of course, there actually are trails you can walk straight in to here from the neighborhood, depending on where you live. So here you go. This is the community space for Elizabeth Lakes. Alrighty, well, I did want to show you this final section of the neighborhood. And you can see that kind of busy street behind me. That's woodland. And so most of the neighborhood is on the other side of that. So everything we've seen so far is on the other side of that, except for this section, which is one street with a bunch of little cul-de-sacs off it. So I love the design and the setup, but it is a little disconnected from the rest of the neighborhood. So if that's important to you, you know, if you have kids that are definitely going to want to cross that street to get to the other friends, it is pretty busy, and you know, getting in and out of there and getting across it could be a little bit of an issue. Now, if you don't care about that, then that's fine, you know. But the fact that it's on the other side of this kind of that busy road does kind of make you feel like it's a bit of a different neighborhood. If it wasn't for the sign up front, you would probably think it was its own thing. But still part of Elizabeth Lake Estates, so part of that, you know, non-HOA, HOA, and all that kind of good stuff. So, and it's still all pretty much the same year build and all that too. So, this home right behind me here on Brafferton, this is pending at $365. It's 4 beds, 2.5 baths. 2,163 square foot to be exact, and beautiful big 2-story home here. And then, you know, as you can see, you kind of get down and you have these cul-de-sacs that are just really nice. I really like what the homeowners did at the end of the cul-de-sac with this blue siding down here. That's awesome. But you know, so it is really just one long strip, and you know, and just another section of the neighborhood. So if you are searching, you do want to be in the main section, and you want to be able to like walk to the pool and everything. You may want to be on the other side just so you don't have to cross woodland. Other than that, it's all the same. This is just another section. So I want to show you that real quick. Well, let's do a quick drive through so you can see what the whole little part of this neighborhood looks like, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. All right, well, that's Elizabeth Lake Estates, or as we often call it, just Elizabeth Lakes. Beautiful neighborhood, lots of different size ranges, waterfront options, so really great spot if you're thinking about making a move to Hampton. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those below and we'll reply to them as soon as possible. And my team and I, of course, are on standby waiting to help if you're thinking about making a move to Hampton, Newport News, or any of the surrounding area. You can call, text, or email us anytime, and our contact information is in the description as well. In the meantime, do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to this channel, and then share this video with anyone you know who's thinking about making a move to the greater Hampton Roads area. Again, my name is David Tortellini. Thanks so much for watching.